We're back with China Mavel and Keanu Reeves, one of the authors of the Book of Elsewhere. The life of Keanu Reeves is reminiscent of a movie, a mix of achievement, heartache, and tenacity. He is a favorite star in Hollywood, not just for his roles in John Wick or The Matrix, but also for the kind of person he is outside of the film. Fans have admired him over the years for his modest generosity, for enduring unspeakable losses, and for being grounded in an ego-driven industry. However, Keanu hasn't had a good life. He has gone through more hardship than most people could possibly imagine. Despite facing his personal struggles and losing the people he loved, he managed to persevere. However, fate had a different plan, just as it seemed like his luck improving. The current revelations regarding Keanu are not just shocking. It's depressing. Let's take a step back and look at how he got here today, though. Where Keanu Reeves's unwavering resolve, sorrow, and success have all worked together to bring him to his destination. Keanu Reeves' destination. Keanu Reeves's early years. The biography of Keanu Reeves is just as fascinating as any Hollywood production. There have been many highs and lows, tragedies, and moments of extreme fortitude. Keanu was born in Beirut, Lebanon, on September 2, 1964, and had an unusual upbringing. For note, his father Samuel was of mixed ancestry, having Portuguese, Hawaiian, Chinese, and English ancestry. His mother Patricia was an English costume designer. However, life wasn't exactly as ideal as it seemed. When Keanu was 3 years old, his father left the family. He last saw him when Keanu was 13 years old. His mother moved the family frequently to Sydney, New York, and finally Toronto, where Keanu spent a large portion of his childhood, after he stopped by for a vacation to Hawaii after his parents' divorce. His mother had multiple marriages, but none of them lasted. Keanu's early years were characterized by this type of volatility, which gave him a sense of independence. Keanu disliked going to school. In addition to attending 4 different high schools, he was expelled from one for being a little too rowdy. He struggled in schoolwork, partly due to his dyslexia. However, ice hockey was the one thing he loved. He aspired to play for the Canadian Olympic team because he was so good at it. But that goal was cut short by a serious injury. He discovered acting at the same time, and at the age of 15, he realized that was his calling. Early in the 1980s, he started appearing on television in small parts and commercials, which was his big break. He even appeared in a Coca-Cola commercial. Yes, he was unquestionably talented, but Hollywood wasn't always on his side. At one point, his agents even advised him to alter his name because Keanu didn't sound out of the ordinary. He went under the moniker Casey Reeves for a short time before making the remarkable decision to stick with his own identity. One of his first notable roles was in the 1986 teen film River's Edge, which was about teenagers dealing with a murder. It was praised by critics, and Keanu's performance was acclaimed. Then came 1989's Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, which made him a household name. Keanu became the preferred laid-back, charming man in Hollywood after the ridiculous time-traveling duo captured hearts. However, Keanu didn't want to be labeled as just another adolescent hottie. He took on more somber roles in movies like My Own Private Idaho, 1991, in which he co-starred with his longtime friend River Phoenix as a troubled street hustler. Around the same time, he starred in the action-packed film Point Break, 1991, which required him to learn how to surf. The film was a box office success, and his on-screen portrayal of an undercover FBI agent became legendary. Keanu also tried his hand at music. He demonstrated that his abilities were not limited to acting by playing bass guitar in the band Dogstar. Keanu's role as an action hero was cemented in 1994 when he co-starred with Sandra Bullock in Speed, a non-stop action thriller about a bus that would blow up if it went below 50 mph. The film was a box office success. However, things were not always so bright outside of the spotlight. In the same year, River Phoenix, his best buddy, passed away. Despite his heartbreak, Keanu kept moving forward. His time in Hollywood was not without its challenges. However, Keanu became one of the most adored actors in the business because of his generosity and perseverance. And he experienced yet another heartbreak just when it looked like life was finally treating him well. One that was even worse than anything he had endured here. Career highs and lows for Keanu. Keanu Reeves had a variety of stage and movie projects in the mid-1990s, some of which were well received and some of which weren't. One thing was for sure, though. He was constantly experimenting with different parts, whether they were in dramatic plays, action-packed science fiction films, or even Shakespearean theater. His 1995 cyberpunk action flick Johnny Mnemonic, which was set in the distant future of 2021, was one of his biggest works at this time. So much for the future of that. In the film, Keanu played a man who has a cybernetic brain implant and has to have a secret data package delivered either before it kills him or before he is killed by the Yakuza. Sounds exciting, doesn't it? Unfortunately, reviewers disagreed. The majority believed that Keanu was miscast and that the film was overly campy. Some, like the well-known critic Roger Ebert, however, took pleasure in its naive grandeur, effectively declaring that it was so awful that it was almost good. He starred in the romantic drama A Walk in the Clouds that same year, which was inspired by a World War II veteran who came home to try to start over. While some reviews thought it was beautifully shot and heartwarming, others thought it was too romantic and pleasant with little substance. Keanu wasn't only sticking to movies either. He made a big step into play acting as well. He played Prince Hamlet in a theater version of the play in Winnipeg, Canada, in 1995. Shakespeare's plays are renowned for their complex vocabulary and strong emotions. Therefore, it was a difficult undertaking. Shakespearean aficionado Keanu, however, always gave it his best. He was ranked among the top 3 Hamlets that one critic had ever seen, appreciating the unadulterated passion and intensity he brought to the part. It was a very personal journey for Keanu. He later admitted that, although he had not previously recognized it, playing Hamlet had made him more aware of his mother's anger. After Shakespeare, Keanu returned to science fiction with the 1996 thriller Chain Reaction, in which a young scientist is falsely accused of a crime he did not commit. The film failed despite having a compelling subject and a strong cast, including Rachel Weisz and Morgan Freeman. It only got a 16% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and critics called it formulaic. Feeling Minnesota, 1996, a crime comedy in which he co-starred with Vincent D'Onofrio and Cameron Diaz, did not improve the situation. Once more, critics were unimpressed. The majority thought the movie was shoddy, and some even claimed that Keanu was completely miscast. Keanu had to make a serious choice now. He received $12 million from the studio to return for Speed 2. Cruise Control, the follow-up to the well-liked 1994 movie that made him a major action star. Keanu, however, declined the offer. He didn't enjoy the script after reading it. Rather, he started working on other projects and going on tour with his band Dog Star. There were consequences to the relocation. With hindsight, Keanu might have made the right choice, but 20th Century Fox was reportedly so unhappy that they refused to collaborate with him for 10 years. Speed 2 was a box office and critical failure. Keanu appeared in The Last Time I Committed Suicide in 1997 while traveling with Dog Star. An actual letter written by author Neil Cassidy to his friend Jack Kerouac served as the inspiration for this drama. The movie had a mediocre reception. While some critics thought Keanu's portrayal was apathetic, others thought it was one of his most impassioned ones. However, in 1997, things started to improve. In the supernatural thriller The Devil's Advocate, Keanu played a young, aspirational lawyer who inadvertently starts working for Al Pacino's character, the Devil. Critics praised the film, which included drama, suspense, and even a hint of terror. Keanu even took a salary reduction so the studio could pay the great actor since he was so eager to work with him. The success of The Devil's Advocate served as a reminder to everyone that Keanu was more than just a one-trick action star. Therefore, that decision was well worth it. He could also play profound psychological roles. During this period, Keanu had his share of setbacks. He did, however, demonstrate that he was not scared to take chances. He experimented with theater, turned down a significant salary for a movie he didn't think was worth his time, and continued to try new things. And he had no idea that his biggest professional achievement was on the horizon: loss, love, and the most heartbreaking news. However, Keanu Reeves is always secretive while leading a life filled with intense love, painful heartbreaks, and a covert quest for meaning. He has become one of the most revered Hollywood celebrities as a result of his numerous relationships, heartbreaks, and internal changes. Changes. Not because of the films he makes, but because he has persevered through it all with fortitude and moral character. Keanu dated filmmaker David Lynch's assistant, Jennifer Sim, in 1998. They quickly became a pair after meeting at a gathering for his rock band Dogger. They were expecting a kid together in 1999, and their relationship was going well. However, catastrophe struck on December 24th when Jennifer gave birth to their baby early at 8 months gestation. The couple quickly split up because the disappointment was too great. Even though they split up, Keanu and Jennifer reunited. When yet another awful death occurred in April 2001, they were rekindling their friendship. Jennifer's car struck 3 parked cars when she was traveling in Los Angeles. At the time, she had alcohol in her system and wasn't wearing a seatbelt. The impact killed her instantly. Keanu was devastated. Then he told detectives that they had been together in San Francisco the day before. Even during her funeral, when Jennifer was buried with their daughter, he served as a pallbearer. The loss really saddened Keanu. According to his Dog Star bandmate, Brett Domseros, he required time to recuperate before he could resume filming the Matrix sequels, which were originally planned to start in the spring of 2001. Keanu maintained relationships with those that mattered, despite his heartbreak. Additionally, he had a love relationship with model actress China and director Brenda Davis, with whom he is the godfather of their child. However, his bond with actress Winona Ryder is among his most intriguing and long-lasting relationships. They co-starred in Dracula, 1992, directed by Bram Stoker. Additionally, a Romanian priest performed their marriage ceremony in one scene. Even now, Winona still teases Keanu as her spouse, and he agrees, speculating that they might actually be married. At a dinner gathering in 2009, Keanu ran into artist Alexandra Grant. They wrote 2 books together and quickly became friends. Over time, their friendship developed into something more. Additionally, they made their relationship public in 2019. After everything Keanu had been through, his fans were thrilled to see him in love once more. Keanu is not a big talker about religion. He said, however, that he believes in God, faith, inner faith, the self-passion and objects when asked explicitly. Despite not being a member of any particular religion, he views himself as spiritual, but filming for Little Buddha had a profound impact on him. He was drawn to Buddhism in general and its teachings on compassion, impermanence, and knowing feelings. He once claimed that the lessons he learned from Buddhism were fundamental human lessons about life and mankind rather than religious ideas. Even the scientific community has been impacted by Keanu. In 2023, researchers named a new chemical Keanu Misson in his honor. Like a nanocal action hero, it is a lipopeptide that kills fungus. Because it kills effectively, like Keanu's action hero protagonists, the scientists thought the name was fitting. Despite receiving a science prize, Keanu has been thinking a lot about something far bigger, life and death. I'm thinking about death all the time. That's a good thing. Hopefully it's not crippling, but hopefully it makes us appreciate the breath we have and the relationships we can build, he said in 2024, expressing his thoughts in public. Given how much he has lost, it is not surprising that Keanu is so aware of life's transient nature. Despite his philosophical beliefs, Keanu keeps pushing himself. In 2024, he made his motorsport debut at the storied Indianapolis Motor Speedway, finishing 25th in the first event and 24th in the second. And despite not winning, it was clear that he was there for the experience, for the rush of trying something new. With love, loss, and reflection, Keanu Reeves remains one of Hollywood's most fascinating and charming characters. Whether he's racing cars, co-authoring books with his girlfriend, or acting in action movies, he continues to live life on his own terms, quietly, thoughtfully, and with an unmistakable sense of adventure, helping those in need. When Keanu's sister battled leukemia, it had a profound impact on him. Instead of just giving money, he took action and created a private cancer foundation that supports cancer research and helps children's hospitals. Unlike most celebrities, Keanu doesn't make a big show of his charitable endeavors. Money is the last thing I think about, he once said. Fun. In 2020, he volunteered at Camp Rainbow Gold, a charity organization based in Idaho that aids youngsters suffering illness. His compassion in helping others has not escaped incarceration. I could live on what I have already made for the next few centuries. In fact, because of his work for cancer-related causes, Anko Daily named him one of the 100 most influential celebrities in oncology. Keanu is regarded as one of Hollywood's most philanthropic people. There is a well-known rumor that he gave between $35 million and $125 million of The Matrix's profits to the makeup and special effects departments. His philanthropy extends to major productions, and while filming The Matrix, he discovered that a crew member was dealing with family issues. Although the story is slightly different, he actually gave up a portion of his profit share so the film could afford a larger budget for visual effects. Despite this, his decision benefited the film and the crew. Without hesitation, he gave the person $20,000 to help them with their financial difficulties. He went one step further for the Matrix Reloaded stunt team, buying a Harley-Davidson motorcycle for each of the 12 members as a token of gratitude for their commitment. I just wanted to give a bigger thank you to all these guys who helped me make this, he said. Keanu continued this tradition with John Wick. Chapter 4. Keanu doesn't just give money. After filming was completed, he gave each member of his stunt crew a personalized Rolex Submariner watch with a special message engraved on it. He even had t-shirts made for the extras that showed how many times their character had died in the film. He actively seeks out opportunities to help. In 2023, he collaborated with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu master Dave Camarillo and director Chad Stahelski to sign a limited edition training uniform, which was auctioned off with the proceeds going to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, which helps kids with life-threatening illnesses. Keanu's passion projects. Keanu isn't just about movies. In 2024, he took part in another noteworthy endeavor, signing a one-day contract with the Windsor Spitfires, a Canadian hockey team, and auctioning off autographed items to raise money for the Canadian Mental Health Association of Windsor, Essex. In addition to his passion for motorcycles, books, and narrative storytelling, he co-founded Arch Motorcycle Company with Gard Hollinger in 2011. Catering to the needs of longtime biker Keanu and other enthusiasts. He also co-founded Company Films with his friend, Stephen Hamill. Keanu's love of storytelling extends beyond the screen, as he co-founded Za Artist Books Zab in 2017 with Jessica Fleshman and longtime friend and collaborator Alexandra Grant, a publishing house devoted to artistic and experimental books. This production company allows him to produce independent film projects outside of the mainstream Hollywood machinery. Keanu and Grant have even co-authored 2 books, Ode to Happiness and Shadows, which blend his poetic prose with her photography and artwork, showcasing a new side of his creative abilities. Keanu was a hard-working star who was always a laid-back kind of guy. Time magazine once called him Hollywood's ultimate introvert, and his coworkers describe him as hardworking, giving, and extremely shy. Wow. In 2023, Keanu's longtime Matrix co-star Lawrence Fishburne described him as kinder than people think he is and called him a very gentle, highly intelligent man. Director Francis Lawrence, who worked with him on Constantine, testified that Keanu is hardworking and generous. But despite working with him for more than a year, his co-star Shia LaBeouf admitted, "I don't really know him that much. Keanu is so humble, very kind to others, but very hard on himself. He's always trying to do his best." Hiroyuki Sanada, who worked with him on John Wick 4, captured it beautifully. Beautifully. Actor and comedian Aziz Ansari even joked that Keanu is actually an angel who is just pretending to be human for his film roles. When asked about the image, Keanu simply laughed and said, "Man, I was having a sandwich. The sad Keanu meme was created in 2010 after a picture of Keanu sitting by himself on a bench, staring thoughtfully, went viral. The internet went crazy, and some fans even made June 15th Keanu Day a day to celebrate Keanu. I had a few things going on, so I was thinking. I was starving. I was starving. Over time, his quiet charm, thoughtfulness, and grounded demeanor made him a sensation on the internet, and his ability to interact with people, both in person and on camera, led supporters to call him the internet's lover. In 2019, Keanu became even more popular after appearing on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. When asked how he feels about dying, Keanu said bluntly, "I know that the ones who love us will miss us." Vox and Screen Rant called him one of the nicest actors in Hollywood, while The Guardian and the BBC called him the nicest man in Hollywood. Keanu's hero moments. Keanu doesn't just play heroes on screen, he also frequently acts like one in real life. In 2019, when his United Airlines flight to Burbank had to make an emergency landing in Bakersfield, Keanu didn't just sit around waiting for help. His emotional response went viral on social media, and one New Yorker writer even called it a transcendent moment. Transcendent moment. Instead, Time magazine joked, "If you're looking for a road trip buddy, Keanu Reeves should be on the top of your list." He helped arrange alternate travel for the passengers and even kept them entertained by reading interesting facts about Bakersfield and playing country music off his phone. When he was filming Bill and Ted Face the Music that same year, he came across a house with a banner that read, "You're breathtaking." This phrase had become a meme following his appearance in Cyberpunk 2077, and instead of simply waving, Keanu stopped to sign the banner and speak with the family, demonstrating once more why he is so adored. Not only that, but he also made headlines in 2022 when he surprised a fan in the UK for her wedding. Keanu met the bride-to-be groom James Rodwright at a pub and then shocked the couple by showing up as a surprise guest at the wedding reception. Susu. Bride Nikki described him as a very nice and humble man. Even at his own Dog Star show in 2023, Keanu took a moment to make a young boy's day. Elijah, a boy, asked if he wanted to play catch before the show, and Keanu smiled and said yes, throwing a football back and forth. The child later said it was the best moment of his life, and that he would always treasure the ball, the accolades, and the success. According to movie review website Rotten Tomatoes, Keanu Reeves has been a major force in Hollywood since 1985 and has starred in some of the greatest and most successful movies ever made. River's Edge, 1987. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, 1989. My Own Private Idaho, 1991. Much Ado About Nothing, 1993. Speed, 1994. The Matrix, 1999. And the John Wick franchise, 2014-2019, are some of his best films. Reeves has received numerous accolades for his acting, including 4 MTV Movie Awards, which are known for rewarding entertaining and fan-favorite films, and 2 nominations for Best Actor at the Saturn Awards, which recognize excellence in science fiction, fantasy, and horror films. He also voiced Duke Kaboom in the 2019 blockbuster Toy Story 4. Even outside of acting, Reeves has been praised for his contributions to pop culture and entertainment. In 2015, People magazine looked back and named him the sexiest man alive of 1994 when Speed catapulted him to fame. He was nominated for 2 People's Choice Awards, Favorite Male Movie Star and Favorite Action Movie Star for his role in John Wick, Chapter 3 Parabellum 2019. Following the box office success of his action films, Reeves was named the world's most popular martial arts movie star by Taekwondo Life magazine in 2021. Later in 2024, Gold House, an organization that honors influential Asian leaders, named Reeves one of the year's most influential Asians. Reeves has established a distinguished career spanning many years, from fast-paced action films to emotional dramas. His dedication to the craft and steadily growing fan base have ensured that his impact in Hollywood remains glaring. He was also honored with the prestigious Inkpot Award at San Diego Comic-Con for his lifetime achievements in film, television, comics, and literature. Action-packed sequels, Broadway productions, and even anime are among the exciting projects that Keanu Reeves has planned for the coming years. To start, he is starring with Seth Rogen and Aziz Ansari in Good Fortune, which will be Ansari's first film as a director. Following that, Reeves will feature in Jonah Hill's dark comedy Outcome, which will be available on Apple TV Plus. Of course, Reeves isn't finished with his most famous action role just yet, as he returns to the role of John Wick in 2025 in Ballerina, a spin-off movie from the John Wick series. In addition, fans can expect The Entertainment System is Down, a satirical film written and directed by Ruben Ostlund, who is known for his sharp and thought-provoking storytelling. In addition, Reeves is producing a documentary about the legendary martial artist Benny Arites that will be released in 2025, and he is also venturing into a completely new genre, Broadway. Reeves will make his stage debut in Waiting for Godot later in 2025, which will be directed by James Lloyd. One of the most exciting projects in development is the movie adaptation of B.R. Zord Reeves' own comic book series, which Netflix is producing and may even direct. After the film, Netflix will produce a 2-season anime series based on BRZRK, which will be produced by the well-known animation house production IG. Regarding John Wick, fans may have to wait a little while longer. Although Lionsgate has been working on a sequel, director Chad Stahelski has stated that he would like to put the franchise on hold for the time being. However, the John Wick universe is still expanding, with a new TV series called John Wick Under the High Table in the works, and Reeves serving as executive producer. Even though he became a huge star in Hollywood, Keanu Reeves' life has been a mix of tragic struggles and incredible triumph. From blockbuster action and comedy to the great white way in anime, Reeves is once again proving that he is one of Hollywood's most versatile stars. Even though he has been successful and wealthy, Reeves has never been conceited and has frequently donated large sums of his money to help those in need. He lost his father when he was a young boy, suffered personal tragedies like the stillbirth of his daughter, and later lost his girlfriend, Jennifer Sim Sude. Everyone in Hollywood has fallen in love with him because of his generosity, kindness, and quiet demeanor. But despite all the praise, Reeves has had personal tragedies, professional setbacks, and periods of loneliness. Despite all of this, he has continued to enjoy his work and the company he keeps. Keanu Reeves is not just an action hero in the movies, he's a real-life hero as well. His story is an example that no matter how bad things get, it is possible to keep moving, remain compassionate, and make a difference. Whether it is through his films, his philanthropy, or simply being a really nice guy, he has brought hope to millions. This concludes Keanu Reeves' amazing life story, which is full of highs, lows, and everything in between. Please leave a comment below with your thoughts on Keanu's journey and your favorite Keanu film. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more incredible content. We appreciate your time and hope to see you at the next one.